Arsenal beat Wolves 2-1 at the Emirates. It was a hard watch, but we have the 3 points. Waka, welcome back to another match reaction. Oh, this was a difficult game to watch. In the first half, we didn't even have a shot on target. Our play was really slow, side to side, no penetration, no real chance creation. Uh, It was just really bad, man. I don't think in this match we can give a lot of players high ratings because I feel like most of the players played below their level. SA didn't play well, didn't really create. We kind of wanted to buy him this summer because of his unpredictability, hopefully for our team to break down the low blocks. He didn't do anything for when it comes to that today. Jokeres was in there. I feel like, especially in the first half, there was no real. Yeah, they weren't really trying to feed him. There was one cross from Saka where he should have been more proactive. He reacted just that split second too late, so the ball just went across and he couldn't get there anymore. Feel like if he jumped like 1 second earlier, he could have gotten in front of the defender and he could have tapped that cross in, the low cross from Saka. He was a little bit off there. Other than that, he wasn't that great in his duels. I feel like he didn't really hold the ball up. So yeah, that wasn't great. Martinelli on the left side wasn't the best. He wasn't really beating his man. And when he did beat his man, the ball in front of the goal wasn't good enough. He did shoot, but it wasn't a great shot. It wasn't even on target. He had a header at the back post from a corner, wasn't on target again. Feel like Zubamendi and Rice in the midfield weren't great. What I did notice was last season and the season before, we were kind of complaining about Rice in some of these matches because he was in the half space, he was up too high. And this season, a lot of times he is playing in like a double pivot with Zubamendi, and then they make late runs forward. But today it was like the old Rice again in the first half. He was way too high, didn't come onto the play. He was already there, and that kind of helped Wolves out by it slowing the pace of the game down and it being the more predictable sideways horseshoe formation. So that was really annoying. We had Ben White go off injured after we committed too many players forward from a corner. So when he tries the ball over the top to Jokeres, the ball gets headed away and the striker is just running down towards a goal. You had like five Arsenal players trying to catch him up. One of them was Ben White, and he pulled his hammy. I don't know if it was a real pull or anything, but he did feel something. He slowed down and he got subbed off for MLS. So that's another great thing from this match. Then you have yeah, Saka wasn't great in the first half. Like I said, he did have a cross. He had some moments where he tried something, some combinations with Ben White, this and that, but nothing too amazing. I feel like only the defense was solid. They did have that shot on goal because of the counter, but other than that, the defense didn't have too much to do. And anytime they did have anything to do, they dealt with it. We go into halftime. I was expecting some subs at halftime, but that didn't happen. We did play with the same team, but I do feel like Declan Rice started to play better. He wasn't as high up like in the first half, and that really helped out with us being a bit better. We didn't really create too much, but we did have a free kick from Rice that would have gone over, but the goalie did get a hand on it. We had a shot from Rice that the goalie saved. So yeah, the play did get a bit better in the second half, but it still wasn't dangerous enough. We didn't really create too much. We did have the subs. You see Trossard coming on and Marino coming on. I was afraid that Marino would come on for Gyökeres, but Arteta kept Gyökeres on still, and he took off Supermendi, who wasn't having the best game. And I feel like after the subs, the play did get a bit better because Trossard was doing a lot more on the left. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Martin Odegaard also came on for Eze. I don't think Odegaard did the best when he came on. I don't feel like there was too much in between the performances of Eze and Odegaard this match. Trossard was definitely a step up. Marino did do better than Zubimendi, but he wasn't too amazing either. He did just the basics. But Trossard really came on with a vengeance. He created some opportunities by doing the smarter, more penetrating passes, setting up some attacks. He also started to bring Gyökeres into the game with some passing. Gyökeres at some point got a ball from him with the defender wrapped around him on the back. He spun him and he did a left foot shot. He did drag it wide, but at least it was something from Gyökeres. He finally got an opportunity to do something in this match. But yeah, we get a corner. Saka takes the corner, goes to the far post, hits the far post against the goalie, and it goes in. Own goal, 1-0 up for Arsenal. Horrible match, but at least we go up. And after that, you're kind of hoping that Wolves are going to try more and we can exploit those spaces that they are going to open up for us. That maybe initially we did get more of the ball and we have more of the play, but Wolves were still holding their back line. Like I said, with Trossard coming on, we did have a bit more of the dangerous attacks. Yeah, MLS at a moment where he should have reacted earlier with a pass, but he didn't. Yeah, just a couple of moments here and there where maybe we could have done more to make it 2-0. Yet Odegaard coming into the 18-yard box and shooting it in the side netting. Maybe you could have passed the ball to someone else. Yeah, it still wasn't a fluid best. And then we started to drop back. Wolves came out of the shell, but we didn't really attack them for it. We just dropped back, and it was just a role reversal. Wolves were trying to get that equalizer, while we were trying to keep the 1-0. We did make some more substitutes. You had Jesus coming on for Gyökeres. At that time, I was like, maybe we should have taken off Saka and put on Madueke, who was great in midweek. Saka wasn't at his best. So maybe if we take off Saka and Madueke can give us something new on that right side. He chose to take off Gyökeres and put on Jesus. For me, I feel like Gyökeres was finally getting into the game with Trossard having come on. So I felt like maybe it wasn't the right moment to put on Jesus. He did it. We just dropped back. You had the goal from Wolves. I feel like it wasn't even a real cross. It felt more like a strike. The striker gets his head on. It was one of their substitutes. He gets a head on it. Raya was wrong footed. The ball goes into the back of the net. Late in the game, it's a 1-1 against Wolves at home. I was like, how are we messing up against Wolves at home? These guys have two freaking points. They have so many goals against, and we are the team that wants to be champions, and we are struggling so bad against them. Not even making that goalie work a lot and sweat it out. No, he just had one save and one other save that he didn't even have to make, and the own goal that was just unlucky. But other than that, it wasn't like we were working him a lot. We it goes to 1-1, and I was like, nah, man, come on, don't let this happen. After the 1-1, it was kind of back and forth, but not too much attacking danger. And then Saka gets the ball on the right flank. I think it was about the 93rd, 94th minute. He puts the cross in like we've seen him do a lot, especially in moments where we need another goal. He cuts in, puts the cross in. The ball goes towards Jesus, who's battling it out with Wolves as mascara. It did look like Jesus headed the ball into the back of the net. I was like, oh man, Ateta did the better thing and took off Jokeres for Jesus, and it pays off now. When we saw the replay, it showed that Mascara, he headed it into his own goal. 2-1 for Arsenal. I'll take the 3 points. I'm just happy that even with how bad we played and the fact that we couldn't even create real chances for ourselves, Wolves scored two own goals and we have 3 points. And we could at least sit back and just watch the Sunday games, see what City does. But yeah, we need to do so much better against Everton. They have such a better team. They will punish us even more if we play like this. Yeah. And for Wolves, it was just very, very unlucky this match. They scored 3 goals and we didn't score any. But unlucky for them, two of those goals were in their own goal. We get the 3 points. We stay on top of the league. At least if Villa and City win, they will just have the same points deficit as we started with the weekend. But yeah, we have a week off now. Do some more in the training field. Hopefully, we get some more players back into fitness and we can be a lot better against Everton. We have the winter period or the festive period coming up with a lot of matches back to back with the League Cup in between there. So we need to step up our game and get on a winning run now just to make sure that hopefully we can increase the gap with City and be in a better place at the turn of the year with the FA Cup coming into play as well. Hopefully, we are still in the Carabao Cup at that point, and we can just move on with Premier League, FA Cup, Carabao, and Champions League in January and even February. We just need to really get better, man. That's it for the match reaction. It was a really horrible one, man. This match was so draining because there was no energy on the pitch. They didn't do anything to give us as the fans energy. But we take the 3 points. The Arsenal women, they all also won today against Everton 3-1. Great victory. So we have the double win today. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next one. Peace.